One way that magnetism interacts with electricity is through the electric guitar. Inside each of these pickups, which carry the sound from the electric guitar to the amplifier, each of these pickups includes a magnet, and each of these 6 magnets are for each string. And when each of these magnets are electromagnetized, so they have a magnetic field going from the South Pole to the North Pole, each time this wire vibrates, it interacts with that magnetic field, and through that sends an electrical signal through the guitar, through this wire, and into the amp. These magnets and their magnetic fields, when they're interacting with the wires, take that magnetic energy and transform it into electrical pulses that actually create the sound. This way we can actually take the sound that comes from these wires, which sounds like this, and when you turn on the amplifier, it'll sound like this. So I'm going to try and create my own pickup, which is going to utilize that magnetic field and the wires interacting with it to hopefully create a sound. Slight issue that these acoustic strings that I have do not actually respond to a magnet, while strings on an electric guitar are actually magnetic. So upstairs on my acoustic guitars, the magnets do not react. So now I have my wire, which is conducive to magnetism, and I have my little magnetic pickup. So hopefully if I mount my pickup here and I connect that to an amplifier, then it should give us some sound. Now we're going to connect the pickup to this audio input. So inside there are 2 wires which are connected to. So this one actually has 3 wires, and I have no idea which one goes where, but we'll figure it out. So if we plug this in and attach it to this wire over here in the input, we turn it on. Okay, so sadly it doesn't work. That might be because of this wire, might be because of the wire that's going into the input, and it also might be around how we attach the wire on the screw. So all those might be factors into why it's not working, but we can try it again. We can isolate these factors using wires from an electric guitar. Another factor as to why this may not be working is that the electromagnet actually needs power. So in the diagrams of pickups from a guitar, it only shows 2 wires coming from it. So that probably includes a power and then a ground wire. When I put this in, I assumed that there would be power coming from the back of the amp over here. As you see, that there are only 2 wires going to the speaker. However, this might not be the case, and the guitar might actually have inside of it roundabout ways to get these power. So that might be another factor as to why it didn't work. This is a cathode ray from a CRT TV, and at the front you can see that it has a lens with a specific color, and all the way over here is the cathode. And the cathode releases electrons all the way up the tube, and then they interact with the gases inside the tube and they create a light. So the way that they're able to take these small particles of light and make it into an entire screen is that these magnets over here, so as you can see over here, this is magnetic, well, it interacts with magnets, and these things over here are either Helmholtz coils or coils such as these that actually take the magnetic field and interact with the electrons. So the magnetic field interacts with the electrons and enables the cathode ray tube to deflect the flow of electrons either up or down, and depending on that, it puts them in specific spaces on the screen. And so this enables us to have a picture on the screen using the electrons that make a light with the gas and through these magnets, which make the magnetic field. Closer up version of the actual cathode ray tube is right here, and you see up here it's particularly opaque because that's where the magnets are actually interacting over here. An example of this interaction can be seen in this particle demo, where he takes a magnet and interacts with the cathode ray so that the light is going up instead of straight. Coincidentally, this is also how it was actually filmed, where the image came in and these magnetic coils actually took that light and shifted it either up or down based on the magnets and actually altered the image that was going to be eventually put on the TV screens. Electrons run through these magnetic wires, and that enables a magnetic field to go through it. And once the magnetic field goes through it, it's able to interact with the electrons going through. This is essentially how it works, where the magnets alter the lines. Now, this particular analysis of the magnets and the electrons is interesting because we're talking about how in class, how the electrons and magnets are very closely connected. So these are actually electromagnets, and the electrons going through here are affected by the magnetism of these coils that in turn are charged by the electrons that went through these wires in the TV.